Dub the King, aka JJ. I got my brothers in here. What's up, Drew?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today? Ready to get
Hey man,
into it?
we coming back with another one, dog. This
Yes,
thing is
sir.
not gonna stop, man. They're gonna keep on going, man. What's up, Rocky?
Hey, what up, man? What's going on? It's good to be here today, man. I can't wait to get into this one, JJ, man. This is a very interesting turn of events, I'll say.
Yeah, man. Hey, before we get started, man, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, man. Slow Burn Waco, man. At at Slow Burn Waco, man. Can you tell us what you got in store for the new year? With Slow Burn Waco.
Yeah, JJ, man, we got some big things here. We got some new cigars that we're bringing in. But the big thing we got going on is we have a partnership with a local lounge here, Cozy's Lounge, and we're going to have cigar Sundays every Sunday at Cozy's Lounge. We're going to be in the building providing the cigars and the cigar knowledge to their customers and our customers. And they're going to provide the atmosphere, the ambiance, and the mixed cocktails and the signature drinks that they always provide.
Damn, dog. I can't wait till I get out there, man, and kick it with you at one of these events, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit sound like it's gonna be epic, man. So
For
shout
sure.
out to Slow Burn Waco, man. How can they find you, Rock?
Hey, man, it's easy to find. We're easy to find. Go to slowburnwaco.com. If you're on Facebook, go to Slow Burn Mobile Cigar Lounge. We're easy to find, man. Just look us up. We're also Slow Burn Waco on Instagram as well. So we're easy to find.
All right, man. For all of our Facebook viewers, man, if you would, man, go over to the YouTube page, man. Click on that notification bell, man, and so you can be the first one to get the front row seat to the livest podcast on YouTube. And also, man, we blowing up. We blowing up on Facebook right now, man. Almost 500 members in one day, man. So this is a freight train, dog. Ain't nothing gonna stop this, bro. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Nobody, no hater, no none of that gonna stop this, man. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, man, I wanna start with this clip, man, and
Let's do it.
and we can take it from there. You know what I'm saying? So, let me get into this clip right quick, man. Here we go.
Morning, everybody, and welcome into Undisputed here on FS1. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, good to see you. Shannon, I understand you have something you want to share this morning.
Good morning, yes.
Good morning.
There's been a lot of speculation. I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture or innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down
Okay,
because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me
Okay.
finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Okay.
You
Well,
could have came back, Skip.
well, I thought-
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were gonna bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations. So clearly, somebody.
No, they
had a
did
problem.
not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
Thoughts and prayers remain with Damar Hamlin.
That's where the
Gentlemen,
focus should have
certainly,
been,
as he
and not on the
continues.
football game. Yes, let's go, Jen. Thank you.
Wow.
Woo. Hey, man. Hey. First of all, man, Shannon chose not to come to work, you know what I'm saying, yesterday because of the situation with Skip Bayless and his tweet. He ain't want to be around that negative energy. All right. Secondly, Skip Bayless was on the defense already because Shannon Sharp came back to work today.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you see he was on the goddamn defense, man. Skip, man, you know, man, Skip been around for a long time, man. And I'm gonna tell you what, he stay on Tom Brady nuts, man. He stay on Tom Brady nuts. And if that was Brady on that ground, if that was Brady on that ground, dog, it would have been it would have been something totally different, man. What y'all think about that, bro?
Well, I'll start by saying that I think Shannon's instincts were were on par. I think yesterday, if he had a problem with what Skip said, yesterday wasn't the time to introduce, to get into a debate about whether what Skip did was appropriate or inappropriate. Surely what Skip did was controversial, but I think yesterday was time for everybody in the, whether you're a football fan or just somebody who casually watched the sport, for us to focus on the young man who was injured on Monday night and and address what happened to him, not whatever problem him and Skip may have live on the show as they did this morning. And so I think Shannon trusted his instincts and he did the right thing. You know, I personally, watched, caught up to Skip's tweet in real time. Though I thought it was somewhat insensitive, I didn't think his intent was to marginalize or diminish what happened on the field. I only thought I thought that Skip was simply saying, "Hey, the NFL surely won't cancel this game because of everything that's at stake as far as the standings, right?" And for his mind to go there in that moment, people took offense to that, and I understand why. But for whatever reason, though, it doesn't seem like Skip understands why his comment was controversial. Like he's saying he stands by it and he defends it, but in that moment, in my opinion, the NFL standings didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was what the health of Damar Hamlin. And Skip, for whatever reason, couldn't put that aside. He had to interject, the consequences of the game as it relates to NFL, and that's very insensitive because the game didn't matter worth a damn at that point while that man was fighting for his life.
I agree. What you got, Drew?
Bro, Skip don't care, bro. That's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? The tweets after what he said was like damage control to me. He tried to clean it up. You see what I'm saying? And bro, them your fingers tweeting. You could have waited. You know what I'm saying? You definitely could have waited a day to say that. It was no place for that. Like, I know people were saying we was watching it from TV, but that man fell on the ground. It don't matter. Like, at that point, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you had to say about the end of the season or whatever, that could have waited to the show, to be honest with you.
You know what it seems like to me, JJ? It seems like to me, and this is where it came across. Say the father of a family falls ill and is fighting for his life, right? And one of the sons or the daughters or whatever, all of a sudden in the middle of them fighting for their life, if daddy die, I wonder who gonna get his truck.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what it sound like. That's what it sound like to me. Like you were worrying about something that's inconsequential to what's going on right now, and that you already have moved on from the situation while the situation was in play, was going on in real time. That's what made it so insensitive, because at that point, it could have got worse for Damar Hamlin and the Hamlin family in that moment, and he was just focused on he made a mention. I'm not saying focus. He made a mention to how this game possibly could impact the NFL standings. And I think it was quite insensitive. And at some point, you can't allow yourself to move on like that out loud. You can think what you want to think. You can think however you want to think. But to verbalize that or to tweet about it, it's very much so in poor taste, in my opinion.
And I think we're missing a big element of this, Rock. First of all, shout out to all the viewers, man. Everybody watching. Comment if you want to call in. Please call in on that number right there, man. Please share the live, man. Go over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, man. Man, it's crazy how Shannon started the show out with trying to, bring a little closure to what everybody was speculating on why he wasn't at work, and Skip jumped in the middle of it, bro.
Bro, he was ready. Did you see his face? Skip
Yeah.
was ready. Like, he told violence already before the show even started, bro. He was ready to jump.
And this is my thing, man. Shannon, if you watch this live, bro, move on from that damn show, dog. Move on from that show, dog.
Fact.
Because even though I have enjoyed it for years, y'all been going at it for years. And it goes to show that, and I'm not trying to make this a racial thing. I promise you, I don't want to make it a racial thing, Rock. You hear me, Rock?
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah, I hear you.
I promise y'all, I'm not trying to make this a racial thing. But that shows how some white people value our lives, bro. You see what I'm saying? And Skip ain't the only one that was probably saying, man, how you gonna stop a game for an injury? He probably wasn't the only one saying that. But at the same time, bro, and again, Rock, you hear me? I'm not trying to make this racial. Drew, I'm not trying to make this racial. I promise y'all I'm not. But they look at us as entertainment, bro. They look at us as entertainment, man. No value other than what you can do for them. And that's the reason why Skip couldn't take back what he said. Because he probably said worse than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He probably done said worse than that.
Well,
Well,
JJ,
go ahead, Drew.
Before you say that, Rock, the other thing about the game, right? The NFL didn't cancel the game. The players decided not to play. You see what I'm saying? That's the other thing about it. Like, the NFL didn't say, they probably would have kept playing the game. The players decided not to play.
Man, look, man. Football is a sport. It's got them competitive, but it's also a brotherhood, bro.
Right.
And don't no player want to see another player suffer life-threatening injuries, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Just start back playing because, bro, everybody's mind is screwed up at this point, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I get from it. You feel what I'm saying? And shout out to my dog Floyd, man. Floyd said Skip expressed his feelings the same way Master did, which is true because if you look at it, bro, the dude's face was. I mean, man, if y'all want to run this clip back, we can. But the dude's face was already, you know what I'm saying, on, man, I don't give a fuck about Shannon ass not coming to work. I stand by what the hell I said. So, what did y'all say about that?
I talked to a good friend of mine today who played in the NFL, and of course, JJ, your brother is played in the NFL for a number of years as well, and he was saying that in between those lines, there's a brotherhood that a lot of people who have never played the game at that level understand, and what they all want to do is play the game and go back home and, enjoy their families, make their money or whatever. But there's a certain humanity within the confines of the sport among players that the fans, that they understand the fans don't have. The fans and the business of football often does not allow for that humanity to come through. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like somebody gets hurt, it's move next man up. Somebody, if it's time to cut you, they call you in, tell you you're cut, and they don't look at the implications of, what may happen to your family. They trade you. They don't think about, your wife and your kids having to move, and you learn that very early in that that's the business of football.
Right.
But my good friend, Champagne Wayne Walker, I talk about him from time to time.
I'm so sick of Champagne Wayne ass. We
No,
need to get his ass on the
I'm
show.
serious. The deal is that was different. That was something else. You know what I mean? That had nothing to do with the business of football, and there was a question of where do you go from here after the play. What was happening on the football field at that time was similar to what happens at a funeral. You know what I mean? When you look at all the men, these are grown men crying, sobbing, weeping. How do you go back to football after they are emotionally spent like that? It would be similar to playing a football game right after a funeral. I don't see how they could have went back to it. And,
hey, Rocky, right quick, man. Hey, if you want to call in, please call in on that number. I'm gonna run that clip back right quick, bro, because it's something that we gotta dissect, man. Let me run this clip back right quick, man.
Morning, everybody, and welcome into Undisputed here on FS1. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, good to see you. Shannon, I understand you have something you want to share this morning.
Good morning, yes.
Good morning.
There's been a lot of speculation. I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture or innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up.
No, I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations. So clearly, somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
Thoughts and prayers remain with Damar Hamlin.
That's where the
gentlemen,
focus should have
certainly,
been,
as he
and not on the
continues.
football game. Yes, let's go, Jen. Thank you.
Bruh. It's a whole lot in that clip that tells you hey, this is not racial. But bro, I know white men just like that, bro. They gonna stick to what the hell they said because they don't want to look like they wrong for nothing. And this dude clearly was on the defense. And Shannon really was just explaining why he didn't come to work.
Right.
That's all he was trying to explain. Like, hey, man.
Well, I think what Skip wanted to clear up was the fact that he wasn't taking the tweet down. Like, that was important for him to reply to in the moment. And I think it points out to what you were saying, JJ, is that some people are so defiant that any suggestion that they should do something for the benefit of someone else is offensive to them. So offensive that they have to interrupt somebody speaking.
He was already ready. He was already ready.
But you got to understand, this dude been trending. This dude been trending on Twitter for over 36 hours now.
Hey, Rob.
And what I mean by that is he's been under Skip has been under tremendous scrutiny, right? Right. And so my point is, he's kind of at this point, he attempted to soften it up somewhat yesterday. To no avail. They still was on his ass all day long.
Hey,
did you see that shit?
He practiced that shit in the back before they got out there. He was already ready. He was ready to go. He had in his mind, he was like, "This is what I'm gonna say when Shannon started talking."
Well, I think what it is now, Drewski and JJ, is that now there's a power dynamic between Shannon and Skip that, you know, Skip has always, in my opinion, felt like he had the intellectual high ground against any athlete that he was on a debate show with, right?
Right.
He had the intellectual high ground. And a lot of times early on, I think he deferred to Shannon because he thought he had the intellectual high ground. Well, clearly, after watching the show for over 3 years now, we know that Skip doesn't have the intellectual high ground. And he also doesn't have the emotional intelligence to deal with certain situations. So now at this point, clearly, in my point, the star of the show is Shannon. And that situation in and of itself is going to manifest itself in the business of whatever Undisputed is moving forward. Because at that point, you know, Shannon has a podcast that's going through the roof, and he could potentially walk away from Undisputed and be okay.
Easy.
But if he leaves the show, I doubt that me, you, or JJ will ever watch Undisputed again. And that's the reality of.
Bro, we watched the show because of Shannon's excitement, Shannon's love for sports, Shannon's character that I done seen him do for years. But in that moment, bro, Skip should have said, you know what, man? I'm going to give Shannon the time to be able to express his feelings about another athlete. The man clearly said, my brother was on the field, paralyzed for a moment. That hit home for me. Skip should have said, he should have heard that, and he should have shut the hell up.
Yeah.
He should have shut the hell up. He shouldn't have, bro. But man, being in the military, bro, I knew white men like that. Bro. You know what I'm saying? They were clearly wrong, but they always resort back to that shit right there.
But I'm gonna say this. There's a guy that used to be on Fox Sports named Jason Whitlock, right? He had a similar take on it that Skip had, right? He said that ESPN in their broadcast overreacted to what went on, and they exacerbated the situation by continuing to cover the injury during the suspension of the game, right? So again, I understand why you say white men like that, and certainly, I'm sure you do. But there are black men in this country that are just as callous and just as insensitive. And I know as a black man, it comes across quite personal, right? When you see a white man be dismissive or insensitive or downright mean as it relates to a black person. We often think that those comments, those feelings, those expressions are racially motivated. But sometimes, man, those people are just jackasses, and the person who they are insensitive toward just happens to be black. It's not because they're racist, it's because they're a jackass and they treat their kids poor, they treat the people they work with poor. They're just not good people. And
But you know what?
sometimes it's
But you know
not
what,
racially
Rock?
motivated. It's just that they're jackasses. Go ahead.
But Rock, I mean, just to be clear, I didn't say that it was racially motivated. What I
Yes,
said was they don't see value. And I don't think it's a racial thing. I think it's a superior, like, bro, they see us as entertainment.
I agree.
That's
And
all they see is
I,
sports. You run fast, you catch the ball,
I,
aggressive, athletic. That's all they see.
hey,
And guess
check this
what?
here out. I made an observation today after thinking about what happened on Monday. Do you realize that the stand stayed full until the game was officially suspended? Like the fans actually had hope that the game, we talking about 60,000 people, continued to have hope that the game would be played after a man almost died right there in front of them on the field. And they thought it was quite possible that the game would resume.
Did
So
they?
what I'm saying is it wasn't just Skip that thought the game may
That's my
resume.
that's my
It was
point.
the fans and the
That's
people who watch,
yes.
who follow football. Now again, I with tears in my eyes, me and my wife was sitting here watching the game because my wife is from Cincinnati and she's a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan. And we both were quite emotional while this was unfolding. But I clearly understood after seeing those guys weep and sob and with their towels in their heads in their towels, crying and weeping. I clearly understood those guys weren't going to play no football. Now they can say what they want to, and they can say it was like you say that it was the NFL decision, but those men were not going to play football. I don't know what they were going to do afterwards, but with being emotionally spent like that, I clearly understood that they weren't going to play football. But obviously, there were a lot of fans, a lot of media personnel, and maybe even ESPN and the announcers for a time period thought there was going to be football. But I most certainly did.
Hey, Rock, just I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Andrea. She sent me a clip of a guy on TikTok. It was a sports show on TikTok, and they broke down this young man's salary. You know what I'm saying? $800,000 salary. Uh, and he broke down the retirement, the NFL pension, which you got to play a certain amount of years. You know what I'm saying, to be able to get that pension. My brother had to go to different seminars about that pension. It changes a lot with NFL players. My thing is, bro, this man would never touch a football field again as a player. He will never get paid that money that he was getting paid ever again, bro. What do you think the NFL owed this guy, man?
Well, I think there are. Well, if he in fact he's completely or partially or totally disabled because of what happened on the field, and surely there are going to be some ongoing health issues that we may not know to sometime down the road. But in the immediate care, right, I think he should be compensated until he is whole. And then once he's whole, then you can talk about some type of settlement or whatever.
Nah,
Like,
bro. I disagree, bro.
what do you mean?
I think the man should have a retirement. He should get a retirement.
Oh, you asked me what I think, or you asked me what I think would happen. See, I was giving you what I think
What you
is
think about
think is
that?
going. Well, again, if a dude's life is altered on the field to where he is disabled permanently, even temporarily, right? There should be adequate compensation for his injury. Now, what that is, what it looks like, and how much it is, you know, is he owed $800,000 a year for the rest of his life? I think that's a bit much. But I don't think anything is worth. I think he should be taken care of adequately, whatever that looks like, guys. Whatever that looks like.
Because check this out. He won't have a chance to support his family like he would. He's not gonna have a chance to make the millions of dollars that I'm sure he's worth. And to have an injury like that, bro, and never touch a field again, bro. That's good. That's kind of scary.
Well,
Because he's young. Remember, Rock, this young man is young.
he's
24
24.
years old.
Absolutely.
So it ain't like he could have a whole life of luxury after this, bro.
I served with soldiers who were younger than he was, who were permanently affected by things that they were exposed to or injuries that they suffered while in the military. And the military makes an obligation to those gentlemen, and they provide them with some level of support the rest of their life, right? So I think the NFL should have something similar to that. I know they're not soldiers or they're not servicemen, but with all the billions of dollars, last report, the NFL generates $14 billion of revenue each and every year. With that much money being generated each and every year, surely there should be some compensation for people who are maimed, injured, or disabled severely moving forward. Like there should be some type of compensation that they qualify for the rest of their life,
Put it
if in
like this.
fact they're disabled.
Yeah, but like Brent said, he trying to play the devil's advocate. But how's the NFL liable? Okay, I can tell you 10 reasons why
I'm about to ask you a question.
the NFL is liable. Okay, if you get hurt on the fucking job, Brent, bring your ass on here. If you get hurt on the job, at your job, doing your job, and you get hurt, you liable, and you can't work for the rest of your life.
But now the NFL. Now I'm gonna take Brent's stance, and I'm gonna say, what if it is determined what happened was not due to the hit or anything he experienced in football? It was due to some genetic defect that he has.
It
And
never
that's
happened
what
before.
But
It never happened before.
my question to that is, don't they get physicals? Don't
Yes.
they check for stuff like that? So
Yes.
if they check for stuff like that and they ain't see it, you see what I'm saying? It couldn't have been a pre-existing condition. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you bring up a great point. The physical should be an indication that this person is in full strength and full health and capable of performing the duties safely of this particular job, right?
Right.
And once you get that stamp of approval, anything that happens beyond that, especially while you're performing the job, you understand? You know, it would be the same things if I'm a truck driver and I have a heart attack at home. But if I have a heart attack behind the wheel, those are two very different situations and circumstances. And so they should be treated as such. I agree with you, Drewski. The physical, especially when you inviting 250, 300 guys every year to the combine and stripping them butt booty ball ass naked, checking them out from head to toe, that should account for something. You know what I mean? You should be checking their heart. You shouldn't just be worried about their legs and their arms. You should also be worried about their heart and any other diseases they may be, because you're going to end up investing a significant amount of money in a lot of those guys. So I agree with you, Drews.
Man, two is just injury
The physical
prone.
should then mean something.
And
Yeah,
again, bro, we got to deal with the fact that you got a young man that has played football probably all his life, and he's 24 years old, made it to the NFL, and now he won't play for the rest of his life. That's just like going to war, Rock. We was in the military. That's just like going to war. You know what I'm saying? Veterans get treated like shit. So does ex-NFL players. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this guy, they need to find a way to compensate this young man for getting a life-changing injury to where he won't be able to touch a football again, bro. But I know they're gonna screw him, man, because they don't see the value in it.
Well, again, I would hope that there would be some life insurance policy, some occupational coverage that NFL players have that address injuries that occur while they're on the job that alter their lives permanently. I would hope that they would have some comprehensive level of coverage that would provide them with some level of compensation if they were. Because what if a guy? Because it could be conceivable, right, that a guy could in a football game could lose an eye, right? That's not out the realm of possibility.
That happened to a player for the Ravens.
A guy maybe could lose a finger. I know Ronnie Lott lost a finger or whatever. So anyway, my point is saying this is that there should be some level of compensation for an on-the-job injury that results in a disability, in my opinion.
I mean, I agree, bro. I mean, and bro, this is like the second time this done happened. But bro, I just hope that these people understand that this man is young. He's young. He still got a whole life, you know what I'm saying, ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? And Brent said should pass player. They are. But most of them ain't been in the league for 2 years, bro. You know, like most of them been in the league longer than two and a half, 3 years. And they get pensions. My brother, he got injured. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't started getting his pension till later on. You know what I mean? They need to change that, man. Like they need to change it. I don't think that there's a pension in there for that type of injury this early on in somebody's career. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But hey, man, if y'all want to call in, man, so we can get y'all opinions, y'all thoughts, man. You know what I'm saying? Call in, man. We right here, man, to be able to hear everybody's opinion. Shout out to the people that's on Facebook that's watching. Please go over to the YouTube page, subscribe to the channel, comment, hit that notification bell. What you got, Drew?
I was gonna ask you a question. Y'all remember that dude that played for Pittsburgh? He was like a linebacker.
Ryan Shazier.
Yeah. Didn't he get his money?
I don't know. I think so. This is where and see this is where one of my pet peeves about NFL, the NFL, bothers me. Right, when I watch them men play a very violent game. Why can't we talk about guaranteed contracts for this very reason right here? Right. This is why I think it's very important that NFL athletes have some level of guarantee on each contract that they sign. Because again, you said that Damar is making $700,000 a year, right? And then when you calculate taxes and other expenses related to that, it's probably somewhat, significantly less than that he's bringing home. But he was on a 4-year deal. So if that's the case, why isn't it possible? Why is it unreasonable for him to continue to get his salary for the next 2 years as he would have had he not been injured in this game? Those are the things that concern me about around the NFL. Like, NFL players have always, in my opinion, had the weakest union, and thus they have the weakest level of security
They do.
among all professional sports.
Right.
But I think in these moments right here is where we should say that the NFL players should bind together and fight the way Damar Hamlin was fighting for his life on that field. They should fight for guaranteed contracts and some level of security.
Yeah, and shout out to Gilbert, man, who's a lawyer, man, based out of Atlanta, man, and one of my big homies, man. He said that NFL has the worst contracts. They do. It always been like this.
Mm-hmm.
It always been like this, like forever, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that baseball got the best contracts and the less injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Baseball. So baseball has the longest seasons, and again, they play over 160 some games. So that's in some cases that's why their salaries are justified. You know what I mean? Because they
But
play.
you're not gonna see them walk around crippled when they retire, though.
No, you don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That the baseball doesn't come with the same hazards. Anyway, let me call.
You got
baseball doesn't come with the same hazards as other sports. Hold on, you guys go.
Yeah, man. So Gilbert trying to call in now. You on mute? You on mute, Rock?
Yeah, he on mute. Yeah, because man, look at basketball, NBA players, man. NBA players be hurt for 2 or 3 years. They still get that money. They still get their checks. You know what I'm saying? So you would think NFL players who play the most physical sport, they contracts will, you know what I'm saying, at least I know I know it depend on the players, right? They get a certain amount of money that's guaranteed, but I'm sure it's language in them contracts. I'm sure when Gilbert called in, he'll tell us. I know it's language in them contracts that say certain things. You know what I'm saying? As far as like that guaranteed money, but they talk about it all the time on ESPN. Like, oh,
hey guys, I have a I'm sorry to interrupt you, Drewski. I have a very special guest on the line. This is my partner, the world-renowned Champagne Wayne.
That ain't no Champagne Wayne, man. That ain't Champagne Wayne, man.
Hey, I've been telling them about you for almost 2 years now. And they've been thinking that you are a mythical character that I've created.
That ain't no Champagne Wayne, bro.
Man, it's me, man. What's going on, fellas?
I need an autograph from you, bro.
I was sitting there listening to y'all, but man, he's gonna be protected. His contract is gonna be protected. They have workman's comp insurance. He probably has a Lloyd's in London insurance policy, but he's gonna be taken care of for the rest of his life. This is just like any other job where you get hurt on your job. It's just like the military, which you guys ran. You know, if you get hurt, they got to take care of you. They got to compensate you for the rest of your life.
And let me just step in here and explain. Wayne Walker, Texas Tech legend, NFL player, all 1989 all rookie team, 13-year pro football veteran. That's where he's from, the perspective he's talking about from. And this is just not some guy who is just calling in. He's a 13-year pro football veteran. So go ahead, Wayne. I just wanted to let them know that so that they can understand who they're talking to.
Right. But I mean, you are protected. You know, it's just like any other job. Like if you get hurt on your job, you're gonna get paid. So he's gonna get paid. And with the publicity of this right here, sometimes they'll try to screw you. You know, they won't give you as much. But with the publicity of what's going on with this situation, I don't think he's going to ever have to wear it. So, and I heard y'all talking about the owners and yeah, they trot us out there like we're running horses. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about the owners. The owners make money. It's entertainment. It's the big TV deals. It's the $1 billion TV deals.
Right.
That's where all the owners make money. All the contracts they with Fox, CBS, NBC, Prime. All those $1 billion. All those $1 billion like contracts. So that's how the owners get paid. So they making money. So I mean, we just commodities to these guys, but they have to take care of you at the end of the day. Let me hurt on their field.
No, I just wanted to ask you a question, Wayne. At any point when you were in the league, did y'all talk about guaranteed contracts or any of that kind of stuff while you were in negotiations, you know, CBAs and things of that nature?
Well, I know you guys are right on. I heard y'all talking about NFL is the only professional sports that your contract is not guaranteed. You go in MLB, you go basketball, you go baseball, all that's guaranteed. But football is the biggest sport. It makes more money than all the other sports combined. I'm telling you, all the other sports combined. With the television contracts, with the viewers, with everything involved with football makes more money. But your contract is not guaranteed. It's guaranteed after the 8th game. So if you play 8 games, it's guaranteed. But right now, I think in the collective bargaining agreement, if you make the squad, you get paid up to 8 games. Okay, and if you play over 8 games and you get cut, you get paid for the rest of the year. So, but we did talk about at one time trying to guarantee contracts, but like you said, the good old boys are going to make sure that's not going to happen.
Right.
Because you think about it, you bring in 100 guys for camp. And you're talking about guys getting paid. Right now, guys like quarterbacks getting paid $38 million a year. But you know, you're talking about guys on the lower tier. So when you're talking about guys on the lower tier, a contract the minimum is $400,000.
Right.
So all those guys that you cut down to 53 men in your practice squad, You have to pay him $400,000. No, that's not going to happen.
Right.
It's never going to happen. Even though they have the money to do so, it's never going to happen.
Well, again, Walker, I've never talked. When I talk about guarantees, I'm really talking about guys who have earned contracts, right? And they sign deals, and maybe it would be once a guy's been in the league 3 years and then they sign a free agent contract with another team or something like that, then it's guaranteed. I'm not talking about guaranteeing a contract for a guy who is not, we don't know whether or not he's an NFL player or not. But certainly I've seen situations, and even you have had experience where you would talk to me where you signed a massive free agent deal, and then shortly after that, they decided they wanted, maybe to let you go or let a player go or something like that. I think they should have some obligation to a player especially if they lure him from another team or something like that. So that's kind of more the situation I'm talking about, more so than just guys trying to make the team.
Bonus, so you better have a good agent that's going to get you as much money as you can as far as a signing bonus. And you better get some workout money, and you better get all those things, because before the season starts, if you don't have it if your agent doesn't have it posted in your contract that, hey, if you cut my guy, he's due $100,000, then you're not going to get it. But the only way they're going to put that in your contract if they are sure that you're probably going to make the team. But if you have a 50-50 chance or a 30-70 chance of making a team, you're not going to get that language in your contract. And that's just the way it is. You're not going to get that language in your contract. You're not going to get that clause in your contract where it's saying, if we release Wayne Walker, we release him before the season starts, or we release him before the first game, he's due $100,000. You're not going to get that. If they don't feel like you can make the club, they're not going to put that in your contract. The only way they're going to put that in your contract is if they think you're going to make the team.
Now, let me ask you this before I let you go, Walker, because this is something that I think factors into every situation as it relates to the NFL. Like you, many other players dreamed of living the dream that you were able to live. You know what I mean?
Right.
You were able to live that dream. Is the attachment to that dream is what keeps players in the position of being a commodity? Is there, is that dream of being a pro player keep them in a position where the owners will always have the leverage?
Well, you have to look at it like this, okay? I started playing football when I was 6 years old. I played football all the way up till I was 33, some form, NFL, CFL, Arena Football League. So I played football all that time, and it's a dream and it's a game. It's a game that you play for free all the way up until you get to college, right? So the love of that game and the way you condition yourself as a young man to looking at Tony Dorsett on television and saying, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. Especially for a young black youth, that's the dream. So that dream lures you to that. Is there any black owners in the NFL? No. It's not a win. There's not a win. There's only one in pro basketball. You have some partial owners, some part owners in basketball, but there's only one in basketball, and that's Michael Jordan. But what did Michael Jordan have to do to get there? He had to
become the greatest player of all time.
He was the greatest player, but he was the greatest market of all time too. He got Air Jordans. Every time they pop, that's $300, and they sell out. And he ain't getting much percentage of that. But if you're selling out of Jordans every time you sell them, and they go for $300 a pop, and you got guys. and you selling what? Maybe
a million pair.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
and you only getting 25% of that, you still winning.
So there's not many men that play the game that will ever get the opportunity to own a team. And so how do you, okay, before you go, explain how not having a black owner, is that how does that keep them from, what does that dynamic create for the player though,
Well, I mean, it's still, and that's not a guarantee you still would get it done with a black owner, because it's all about money at the end of the day. It's all about money, and everybody trying to get their ducats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to get their money. So if you get a black owner and he get around these like y'all said, these plantation owners, what makes you think he's not going to try to do the same thing? He's going to make his money too. You know,
right.
That's just the way it is.
It's about that bottom line.
That's not a guarantee, right, but I'm just saying we don't have a role in the game. Our role in the game, as I heard one of you guys say, is we entertainers. We just go out there and we make them money.
There it is.
But that's just what it is. But you can make money playing football, and especially if you play for a long time. But and what sacrifice? What are you sacrificing? Your body, your health, and it's just like Damar. He sacrificed all that to have the American dream, to make money for his family, to take care of his family. But it's a game that he loves as well, because he's not out there doing it for free, but he's out there doing it because he loves it and it's making him money. And the young man got a good heart. He had a toy drive, and he's doing something with it. He's giving back. Right. But it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about money.
And I think that what brought us to this point is that Skip Bayless, his tweet, the tweet that he made.
He never played it down. He never played it down. He never played it down. And that was very insensitive. You worrying about a football game when a man's life is in balance. It's sickening. And I'm glad Shannon went off the way he did, because he can feel it. Because, like Shannon said, it's that brotherhood. Whether you played in the 60s, whether you played in the 70s, whether you played in the 80s, or you played in the 90s when I played, or you play right now, it's all a brotherhood. We all did the same thing. And everybody has been in that position where, man, that could have been me. That could have been me 20 years ago. And it wasn't even a hard, it wasn't anything like that. It's just that you could have been that guy. Yeah. So you feel it, And at that time, you can't go back and play football after anything like that. Because that's all you're thinking about is, hey, is this guy, is my brother all right? That's how I'm looking at it while I'm looking at television. I'm at home, man, is this brother all right, man?
Mr. Wayne. Hey, man.
Put his shoulder pads.
Hey, Mr. Wayne, you can hear me?
They have to bring him back. That's all you're thinking about. You're not thinking about going back. Just like you said, the fans stayed there because they want to see a football game. But when they realized the severity of what happened, man, it wasn't going to be no football game. The guys were not going back out there. I don't care what ESPN wanted, which was the station that it was on. I don't care what the owners wanted or whoever. I don't care what they wanted. It was all about the players at that point. And they were not going back. They decided that, hey, we can't do this. We can't do this right now.
Hey, so, Mr. Wayne.
That's my perspective. That's how it is.
And hey, JJ, seems like you muted, bro. You muted, seem like.
I'm not muted.
Nah, he ain't muted.
No,
really?
No.
Oh, okay.
Champagne Wayne muted. Hey,
hold on. Let me see. Can I turn him up? Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Wayne.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you calling in, man, because you have been the talk of the town for the past 2 years, man. So it's good. It's good to hear your voice, man, because at one time, I was telling Rocky, bro, stop relying on your imaginary friend, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's all real, and
Ain't no man.
I was sitting there.
Ain't no man on. Hey,
I was sitting there.
hey, Mr. Wayne.
Uh-huh.
Ain't no man on this God green earth has done what Rocky Miller say you have done, man. So
Well,
I appreciate you talking, man.
Rocky Miller done hung out with me. Rocky Miller done hung out with me a couple of times. So Rocky done been to some football games where I invited him and his first wife down, and we done kicked it, and he done seen it all. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. So
he told us he done seen it all, man. Hey, I appreciate you. The infamous Champagne Wayne, man. We got another caller, man. Trying to call in.
Today. Okay, right, chatting with you guys, man. Y'all take care, man. Okay.
Hey, I appreciate it, Walt. I'll holler at you.
All right, yo.
All right, let's go and get Gil on the phone, man, before he
Okay, let me bring up the let me bring up the call line, because I had to dial Wayne up directly. So
I
just
got you.
bear with me for a minute.
I got you. Hey, man, Champagne Wayne, man, he's a legend in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, that guy was the best man at my wedding. He's man, he's been a great friend. I always say this: he's singly the most generous man I ever been around in my life, bro. And that's
really?
You know, yeah.
I'm not Rocky.
You're pretty generous, JJ, but I'm just saying I got to give Champagne Wayne his flowers, because he had me in spaces that had me doing things that I could not afford to do and I was not able to do. And he always, brought me in and showed me love. So I will never, ever forget that. So let me bring in Gilbert.
Let's bring in Gilbert, man, before he tells
Can you hear us, Gilbert? Can you hear us, Gilbert?
He said he's on hold. We need to hurry and get Gilbert on, man, before he tears his podcast up, man. Gilbert, you there, brother?
Hold on, man. Hey, Gilbert, are you there?
Gilbert.
Hold on,
I can't hear the room.
Just hold music.
Hold on. I'm gonna get him. Let me get old Gilbert.
While we waiting, man, shout out to all of the viewers right now. If you haven't, please go over to the Cigar Lounge on YouTube, the Sexy Cigar Lounge on YouTube. Click that subscribe button and that notification bell.
Hey, Gilbert, are you there?
Welcome to My One Number. Please enter job cost code followed by the pound or hash sign.
Lord have mercy, man.
Hey, man. Hey,
there
tell
is
Gilbert.
one other participant in the conference.
I told you there's another participant. Let's go, Gilbert. Let's get it in, brother.
Hey, everybody. First of all, I've got to congratulate you guys for taking, the show from the Clubhouse platform to YouTube, and this is a great platform. Just want to congratulate everybody.
Thanks, Gil.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? I don't know that I can follow up after an NFL player. As my first line was going to say, well, I'm a criminal defense attorney and not a sports attorney. But, a lot of the points you guys are making are valid. We want to see there's a couple of things now. We have a changing view in the country overall about, the attitude towards race and what it plays in different professions. The second thing is all of us saw what could possibly be, and hopefully not, the death of a football player. And, the NFL has got to be mindful in terms of their optics of how they treat the game. I mean, everybody saw they didn't even call the game immediately. Originally, if they could have kept playing, they would have kept playing. I think if they were scared that there wasn't going to be backlash, they would have tried to force the players to still play. I remember LeBron saying that the NFL was the worst, and in terms of sensitivity. And I heard somebody mentioning, black owners coming in, and it would be great if we had black ownership coming in. I mean, we're still working on the head coaches issue and debating the Rooney Rule. I think, and I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this, like Lovie Smith with the Bears. He comes in, coaches a team in the Super Bowl, gets cut 2 years later. What is that? It's that the players don't have, most players, we see the players that are famous. So those are the top percent of the top percent. I think most players do not have the option of truly negotiating their contracts that way. And the contracts are draconian. We still watch the games, and that's part of the problem. But at least college is improving, and maybe with college improving, the NFL will improve.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gilbert. I always wonder, as a fan, why, especially the journeyman player, the player that gets a second or maybe even a third contract, but is not a a superstar player. Why isn't he provided some level of protection, in the CBA or the the collective bargaining agreement? Because those are actually the players that actually hold the league together. You know what I mean? The superstars get all the praise and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But those journeyman players who play for 2 or 3 teams and get 2 or 3 contracts are the guys that do a lot of the grunt work that allow Tom Brady to do what he does, that allows, Dak Prescott to do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just why those guys don't, get some level of guarantee.
I think it's about leverage, right? Think about this in every single contract. And think about it, from the owner's perspective here. If you don't have leverage, if I know that I'm paying you a salary that you can't make anywhere near that salary, if you're not in the league, you don't have those options. I have all the leverage, and I'm going to squeeze you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We should have what should be fair, but that's not fair. They don't play fair because their whole idea. I remember hearing a Hall of Fame speech. It was like amazing. A guy I hadn't even heard it before. I think he played for Bill Parcells, and he was saying that Bill Parcells taught him, if you go out of the game, you don't know who's going to come in. If you are out of the game, you don't know who's going to come in. And what that means is you might have an injury that is insane in our world, but you can't get out because you don't know how how easily you can be replaced. And to get to your point, I think it's a lack of leverage. And in terms of the union, there's only so much that so far they have gone. But I think that this incident might force the public to look at it a little. Am I making sense? A little differently?
Absolutely.
But we shall see.
Hey, Gilbert, what's
I
up?
hope it does.
What's up, brother?
Yes,
JJ.
What's up? What's going on? Hey, what's up, JJ?
Hey, man.
How's it going, man?
Hey, not much, man. I appreciate you jumping in on the live, man. I wanted y'all to hear this little story, man. If y'all Google Nick Saban and Geno James is my brother. At practice, when Saban was coaching for the Dolphins, my brother played for Nick Saban. My brother passed out on the field. And they took him into the field house, and he was laid on the floor, and Nick Saban walked over him. Didn't even acknowledge him on the floor. It's a big old article by Heath Hester. If you Google this article, it has it. So y'all beloved Alabama coach showed y'all that sometimes these players are just players and they good for the moment. You see what I'm saying? And that's how they look at athletes, man. They see them as entertainment. You know, if you can make me money, if you can, you know what I'm saying, perform, you know, we're gonna treat you good. But if your ass go down, you know, you no good to me no more. You know what I'm saying? So Google that article, man. It's all over
What's
the
your
internet.
brother's name again? I'm in Google.
Geno James.
I'm in Google. What's your brother's name again, JJ?
Geno James.
How do you spell Geno, JJ?
Jeno. James. James. Nick Saban and Geno James. Just Google the article and read the article and let me know what y'all think. Comment on the show. You know what I'm saying? Because we're about to close the show out, but comment on the show and let me know what y'all think about this article, man. Because it's sad that these players witness their head coach walk over a player, a starter that was damn near life. You know, his life was threatened due to, you know, a certain injury.
Wow.
So I speak from experience of flying to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing if my brother was gonna make it. I ain't give a damn about no football. I ain't give a damn about him playing for no Dolphins. I was concerned about my brother, you know what I'm saying, surviving what was going on with him. You know what I'm saying? So just Google the article, man. It's out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
But Gil, man, we appreciate you calling in, brother. You know what I'm saying? And chiming in, man.
Definitely. Thank you so much, JJ. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, Gil.
All right. Take care. I'm reading the article. Take care.
Yes, sir. Rocky, man, before we close it out, man, what's your last thoughts?
Man, I really thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, man. And really, as we close the show, my thoughts and prayers tonight will be for Damar Hamlin, and I'll be praying for his full recovery. So I just hope that everyone else continues to wish him well, and those that are able continue to donate to his foundation, because once he recovers from this, I think, you know, he's going to do amazing work in the community, and he'll have one hell of a head start considering the $6 million that has been raised already. So, man, I think he's definitely got, you know, a lot to live for. And I'm just so glad that, you know, today we got the news that his breathing has improved, you know, substantially, in my opinion, going from 100% oxygen to 50% oxygen. So I think that's awesome.
For sure. What you got, Drew?
Man, I'll piggyback what Rock said, man. It was a great conversation. I think that I'm gonna say this, man. I'm glad Shannon said something to Skip for being insensitive about his tweet and even telling him he should. And I think he was saying it as like, man, as a man, you should take that tweet down. But Skip was like, nah. So it just showed you what Skip was as far as the situation. Definitely, I pray for the brother. You know, it's hard a situation like this because even though you don't know a person, we still human beings, right? But I definitely pray for that brother, and you know, I pray that he has a speedy recovery. Although he may not be able to play the game of football again, that he'll be able to go back and teach others. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all following YouTube channel and subscribing We on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Instagram at KingDrew_430. Back to you, JJ.
Hey man, I appreciate the callers, man. I appreciate all of the comments and the viewers, man. I mean, if y'all could tell your friends about this podcast, we're gonna come back tomorrow with another one. We're gonna come back the next day with another one, man. We're gonna keep on giving y'all content. If y'all can, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit that notification bell. Y'all can. With that said, man, we're gonna close this thing out, man. So peace out.